Hey everyone, I wanted to share something I feel is important for the education of us moving forward in this light body time. And it's pretty obvious, but it just hasn't occurred to us the importance of what that light body actually means. So, here's the download. Thinking and thinking too much, right, which we are used to, it is naturally of a lower vibrational interaction with the world, okay? The thinking, the constant thinking like our form needs it, all right? It doesn't essentially. What's going to happen is we're going to trust our feelings more. And so the light body of us embodies more, because this is our higher dimensions. The access and inspiration is not just, oh, I feel inspired. Inspiration is just a natural way of following the flame inside you, okay? When we get to that. But right now we're just sort of stimulating our fires on the planet at the solar plexus to the heart so that the voice can speak up more. So we've got to get this flame going in us. And that's where you get embraced more by your higher consciousness design with the light body. So how that looks is there's less thinking moving us forward, which essentially doesn't move us forward very far. There's more. So what needs to be remembered, adapted to, and adopted by yourself is a little more quiet time inside before thinking, like taking you forward. So that looks like telling yourself, I'm just going to observe. Now, obviously, there are times when we have to move forward and make decisions and things like that, but it's going to be a little different if you practice the quiet sit back within, so you're not sending your thinking energy forward, which is essentially just kind of linear at this, my thinking leads me. Whereas your thoughts end up becoming a more higher resonance, spacious availability to access more, right? Because we live in a universe of infinite intelligence. To access more instead of coming up just from like our trained gut response from what we've learned so far in our lower 3 chakra consciousness levels. Sort of a trained subconscious gut, not taking in inspiration to the gut, like, oh, I'm trusting my gut here because I can feel this higher resonance could come from this. No, it's more just like autopilot, better get that done. So there's less inspiration in the field of light with the being. And life is pretty good for us on earth at present with our creations. Like, you can't complain. We do a great job with creating stuff, but we do have this limitless access to intelligence. So when you see us doing the things we're doing on earth, we still don't have a balance of this higher access. And so from our old ways of like linear and like horizontal, so just walking the earth as a being and not actually our higher consciousness flow reality, from this linear horizontal perspective, the vibrations of our existence don't change too much. So it's when we when we start telling ourselves that we're behaving certain ways, and it only gets us so far. So as a global consciousness, that's happening for this light shift. And we become more intuitive in that aspect, that we're not heavy, same battle ways, using eyes to look at the world in the same way. So we consciously choose that, hang on a second, where I would do that, or where I would say that, or where I would jump in. And it helps to study through various teachers, just getting to know what they're talking about in workshops, so you can actually look at how you are operating in life, and how we think we got it all sort of sorted out the way it is, but how we could actually make some improvements to ourselves. And it's got a lot to do with relationships, and that, because it's in every environment. So what is relationship? Well, we have to take controlling out of the picture. We have to take conditions that we have been trained to believe and open up the space and hold ourselves back from anything like that. So you're just opening the truth of who you are, and we all are. So then, of course, we need thought, like I was saying, but it just becomes like, there is more to me, there is more to this person, there is more to this situation, there is more to our whole environment. I'm going to start to learn to adapt to my higher consciousness. So you've got to give it space. And so you practice that anytime, doing anything at all. It could be preparing a meal, and then you could just step back and go, is there another way? Or, it's when we notice that we keep hitting brick walls, or we keep getting like speed bumps all of a sudden. It's like, oh, how in the hell did that happen? I didn't see that coming. And so that's a perfect time, or that's what you take to your next meditation or sit down relaxation. In a way, no matter what it is, whenever's convenient, to truly access some higher intelligence. Because sometimes we just push on with the same. So it goes from heavy, like horizontal, like we got, heavy. It goes from heavy, limited thinking, creations and perceptions, even though we're doing really well. We know how to create. We know how to access some inspiration. But we can just then look at how we treat each other. Because life is not just about how we get inspiration and we create something. It is also every moment of our lives and who's in it. Because that energy of your powerful creations, there's no limitation to it unless you've put some kind of boundaries or barriers on thinking only for that. But then hang on, what about if you didn't say that? You know? So that's why I love my part with my soul in a lot of areas of life, because I do that naturally. A lot of us do, but we just don't realize it is the gift of who we are. We have just been like thinking beings, right? And sort of sheltered like this, thinking that what we see, and we're lucky if we get inspiration for something, all right? Or we look a lot at our situation the way it is in life, and then we think about what we see, and we're not actually opening up ourselves. So there's a lot to do with the two eyes that we have been, and the one eye where you just bring your energy back in. And at different times, I know this might be getting off track a little bit, and at different times, you can feel it's a mind energy bring in zone, but there is not a doubt that once you do bring your energy back in from your think into spaciousness behind the eyes, like, hang on a second, I, the human, have to allow space, right, to access higher consciousness. So it's an internal bring into the one eye, which is also connected to the heart if you're truly bringing in your energy for a wider vision. It's also the heart. And that's just like the stream all the way down then. So you got access and support to Mother Earth. So that's a feeling. So essentially the light body is about feeling life, because we can feel the higher access. We've taken the time. We can feel the connection, the heart space. Each consciousness, chakra consciousness, has a different, what's the word? Let's just say homeliness. So the heart chakra feels, if something is speaking to it, it feels like a kind of, so the feelings associated with that energy is, yeah, hold space here, and then something will come into your field. Like your awareness, you might hear something, or you just might get guidance. But it's a, and so that's what I meant by, if you feel it at that inner eye there, then it can go all the way down and be supported by Mother Earth. You're going to do some sort of manifestation with it. And we're always manifesting, so it can be anything at any time. It's just the fact that with your power, you've chosen to go from what you see and usually might think or act into a pause. How could I do this different? And no, and so you really, next time you're in a spiritual practice, it's not about going to some other thinking, how can I do this different? It's about how can I allow my being to actually become this felt energy space. All right? It's not like you're going to all of a sudden, and even I don't now, it's just a conscious awareness, but you're not going to feel everything, but you will actually, yeah, it's a whole different way of life, as in you will feel things. And so, like, I remember my favorite teacher, Caroline Myss, speaking recently on one of her videos, that she was bringing this kind of thing to the forefront, but I think it was years ago in one of her workshops, that you can feel when someone is in your field. So our sphere. So like someone could be just behind us, but we can feel that they're there, right? Yeah. That's the kind of thing. So no one has to be there, but you've allowed spacious access for other feelings of what's going on in life. So this light being body way of life is so much more enlightened in life, and thinking is like takes the back seat. So your front seat of your field is like, not that the back is bad or anything, I just mean it doesn't take over the forefront feeling of the light being. And the thinking part is like, for instance, you can't go around just being a feeling being of everything, can you? Because you'd end up drained and whatnot and confused, because you'd be taking in everything. So like, for instance, the thinking part of us is like, you train with your subconscious, nearly autopilot, that not autopilot without some sensitivity to flexible growth, right? I think I'm going into all different areas here. Anyway, the thinking part of you would then say, as the feeling being, because you've practiced the thought, you know, just like anything else, we've practiced the thought, I will not just take in anything from my field, being a feeling being. I will still have, like, because I still am a thinking being, I still have my sense awareness, and combined with my higher self intelligence, listening to my inner I, taking that practice, that space to know my feeling space, I will not just let in anything anymore. Okay? But we still hold, by being feeling beings and knowing that everyone is trying to get to this, to understand it, to feel it for themselves, to talk about it, to learn how it affects our lives. You still hold, you know, that becomes an enlightened space for you, and you hold that love in your heart, and that emanates in your field. So it's not like you're doing anything harsh by keeping out, I'm not going to converse about this because I know my energy is going, it doesn't need it. You know, you just have this higher intelligence sort of overseeing you, because it's your higher self that says, that tells you, you can feel it, that's not for you. You can feel it. That's not for you. But we still have our thinking gut responses that we follow when we hear things and we're talking, we're in conversation, or whatever it is, because you can't plan life. So it's all unknown, but you can maintain your field as to, you know, your high vibrational standards. Not without being that loving presence of, like, you know, politely declining things, or just, you know, you don't have to give your attention to everything. You just don't have to. all right? Because there's all sorts of energies on the planet. You're not here to absorb and take on everything and everyone and actually, like, you know, fulfill the world's needs. You know, that would just squash you into the freaking ground and you'd feel like shit. And we all do that, but we've got to learn and notice when we start to do that, because that's exactly what happens to us. So first and foremost, as an energy being, you get clarity on your field, and no one runs that ship, and you don't run anyone else's, and they don't run yours. So you all got to take care of yourselves as sovereign beings, all right? So we don't have to take on what doesn't feel right. We can be loving, responsive beings, but sometimes you have to be cold. You have to say, no, it's not for me, or whatever. So this is all a part of taking care of that feeling space for your higher intelligence to help guide you, your spiritual being. And it's just very important for me to share today and ongoing. We all need this kind of sharing with each other, that this is like where it's at, the higher limitless, spacious feeling of light and life. And so that's different to just being a hard-working, limited, push on forth through the jungles of life being, because it goes from like, get up, go through life, and flat again. When we are this, no, heaven and earth. All right, so your energy, you maintain your high vibrations. And so, yeah, I can't drive home enough how important it is that we are not just thinking production resource facilitators. We are light-bodied beings. And yes, blood is light, bones is light, skin is light, carpet is light, everything is light. Energy. So we're pretty fantastic in our creations, but let's not let our heads limit us. And the head will always have the back seat. Like, you never get rid of thinking or anything like that. It's just, it knows its place. So it's just from thinking to thought. Like, what thoughts can I have? And you just hold the space for them. High vibrational answers. And it truly is a whole embodiment, because as I was saying, you know, you ask the question of your interior about your exterior. So when you ask the question internally of your energy field, you take your energy away from out there and you're going within, and you can feel heaven and earth is right there with you. You're grounding that you would like an answer to this question. All right? And we cannot be perfectionists as in like, I always know the right answer, or I can always find the right way, or something like this. It's not about that, because spiritual guidance may get you to do something, an idea that's completely different. And people might look at you and say, well, that's not perfect, and that's not what we usually get from that person. And that's okay. because it's a vibrational message. So those that do get it, the timing might be right for that to occur. If you get lower vibrational responses, but you know you can't avoid this higher vibrational directive you've got, then you're just going to have to lead with it. Okay, and this is where you go, aha. The trigger in all of us is that we are unique souls, and feel that in your gut. All right, because we always got new and big things to bring into this world. We are always of use, which is why I can't stand on this planet at the moment that we disempower each other without even a breath or a blink. We'll just like put someone down or not listen to, perhaps they've got a new idea, and I'm just thinking, oh my God, how could you do that? You know, when I see it happen, it's like some people walk around in their positions and it doesn't allow breathing space for any other consciousness. They just take up the air of everything, and it's like, I can sit back sometimes and just look at it happen, and I'm just like, wow, we could get along so much better than this and really like smile and work together. In different situations I've been in, I've just observed how, you know, when someone walks into the room and you just know that they're all about their position and title, and it's like a given or expected if they were to put someone down, or if they were to embarrass someone, or if they were to say, well, this isn't good enough, or, you know. The reason why I'm saying that is because the air in the room shifts to this flat, limited way of living amongst us all. And that has an effect on not only like individuals, but that's how some companies run things. And we aren't that, you know. And then so maybe by the end of the day, some people might leave, go home, they feel better that they're out of the environment, and you feel vertical, and you feel, oh yeah, this is what I'm doing it for, so that I can feel like this. And essentially, you're just flat to start another day. So the key point here is we just really need to watch how we treat each other, because no one is on this planet to suffer like disempowering entitlements of like, I'm going to absorb all the air and use a lesser beings in any respect. Okay, because there could be some very highly intelligent people, and I'm pretty sure even like some homeless people are some of the wisest, cleverest beings that have got a lot to offer. But if we don't give them a hand up, they're just going to feel, you know, different sort of sorrow impacts for their life experience. So, you know, people can get caught in sorrow and like weaknesses and foundational discrepancies of how to build well and health, and, you know, how to manage it all with like everyone being so self-involved with technology and everything getting fast and all this just mishmash. It's like, where in the hell do we fit? Might go sleep in the park. It's peaceful there. For an example. Very real and true examples. Okay, so I might leave it there at the half an hour. So the best thing to do is to pause and open your mind. Okay, and that's found in the pause. Adopting it, becoming a little bit more less rigid and more flexible, adopting the fact that there is an energy world that you're a part of, and it can help. Bye for now, everyone. Much love.